it's knowing your sacred contract is a very intuitive thing, okay? When especially a transformational leader, when a transformational leader becomes conscious of their sacred contract, they stop using their gifts and talents in the wrong ways. So it's really easy to follow a passion, but then be executing it the wrong way. So when you understand your sacred contract and you understand what parts of you are interacting with each other, then you really know how to put your gifts out into the world much better. So sacred contracts, they're not just something that entrepreneurs have. Everybody has a sacred contract, and a lot of people, and I'm sure you've asked yourself this question as well. Questions like, oh, hi everyone. So excited to see so many people on here today. We ask ourselves all the time things like, am I destined to do this? Or what is my purpose? Is there such a thing as destiny, or are we completely in control? Okay. So I wish I could give you an answer, a legitimate, 100% answer, but this is what I believe. I believe that, and this is what I've also learned and been taught, and through my research, I have found we have this amazing thing called choice and free will. And then we also have a divine destiny. Hi, Tracy. And a divine destiny is basically, we are scheduled to meet certain people in our life. We are scheduled to go through certain things. We are scheduled to have certain circumstances happen. And those are just things that we are scheduled and that we agreed upon before we were ever even born. Okay. So I know that's a super radical thing for some people, but for you transformational leaders, it probably isn't so radical. I think that you probably feel the stir in your body, and you intuitively know that there are certain things you are supposed to experience. And how do you know those things? So the reason that you know those things is because the things that are in our sacred contract, there's not one, there's a lot, there's more than one sacred contract, and it's different for everyone, of course. It's very unique to you. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the reason that you know that you have a sacred contract, whether with a person, a situation, or a place, whatever it is that there is a lot of animation in your feeling, in your body, in your thoughts, okay? So it's kind of like when you met your husband or your significant other, and you just kind of felt compelled to that person. It's almost like your intuitive system is giving you hints. Okay. In business, what happens is that you also know, you are attracted to a certain passion, or you are attracted to talking to certain types of people. For musicians, they're born with this gift of music. All right. So actually, I'm going to give you a really good example with musicians. You can be, maybe you were born to illuminate the world through music. Okay. So as someone who has a sacred contract to bring music and pleasure and beauty to the world in an artistic way, you probably have a ton of artistic archetypal energy inside of you. It can be very easy to say, I'm supposed to be on stage. I'm supposed to be playing my music. Why is this so hard? Okay, but then let's just say that you don't just have the artist. You also have a lot of ruler energy, and you also have a lot of teaching energy. So even though you were born with that musical talent and love for it, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you were here to be on stage. Maybe you are here to manage singers. Maybe you are here to actually teach music and a different aspect of it on a different level. So you see, that's why it's so important to understand what your archetypal energies are within you so that you can better understand what your sacred contract is. Okay, here's what your sacred contract is not. And by the way, if you want me to share my archetypal tests, every time someone signs up with me for the Solidified CEO, where we brand, package, and prepare to sell your business, I work really heavily with archetypes because I just believe in them. I really believe that if you can get at a certain level of alignment with what you are doing, everything else just kind of falls into place. So if you want that assessment, you can either go to mariellealvarado.com/archetypes. I'll go ahead and upload it there, and or you can go ahead and message here. You can message me on Facebook or just comment on this thread here live in the Selfish Society. I'd be happy to share those with you. Okay, so here's what a sacred contract is not. A sacred contract isn't what you're supposed to be doing. It's not a job. Okay, so it's not something, it's not like, oh, my sacred contract is to be a coach. No, my sacred contract is to inspire and to teach and lead. Okay, so it's a combination of things. So the way that we do it and actually do our things in the world is a whole nother ballgame, right? But knowing the things that you illuminate is what actually gives you the clarity and the guidance to create and create your plan that you need to execute. You know, one of the reasons that I love entrepreneurship is because I really feel like it's like a soul gym. It's that place, it's that platform where we get tested and we have to really grow on an emotional and mental level in order to get to the next level, right? That's why it's a soul gym. I totally think it's a soul gym, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. So getting clear on your sacred contract, which again is about these contracts that you created before you were ever even born. And you create these contracts with the universe, and I can go way more deep into that, but we're not going to do that today because I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. But it's a sacred contract basically means that you agree to certain things before you were born, okay? So everyone has a destiny, but we also have choice on this planet, which is awesome. And so even though there is this destined blueprint for you, you still have to make the choices to follow your intuition. And that's what happens when you learn how to tap into your gut feelings and your intuition, and you learn how to honor the different sides of yourself that make up this unique person that you are, then you get to the places that you need to get to on time. Okay, so let me say that again. Once you learn how to honor the different sides of you, and you make it conscious, like a conscious decision to do it, you learn how to get aligned with who you are, aligned with your gut feeling, with your instincts, then you are going to make it to that meeting on time. You're here to meet certain people on certain times. You are here. That's why timing is so huge. You know, so many times we get in a rush to getting to where we want to get to, right? But maybe the timing is not right. You know, I always, one of my first metaphysical lessons when I was 16 years old was learning to ask for things in divine timing. Okay. Like some of the things that I can talk about right now so freely and are things that I've known for a really long time, but I wasn't prepared to talk about them last year. I was prepared to talk to you about them now. So it's all about divine timing, and aligning yourself with divine timing is crucial to you getting to where you need to get to on time. You know, like I said, you're here to meet certain people, and there's the universe already has that movie set up. So if you learn how to tap in, then you're going to follow the posts so that you can make it there on time. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and I'm already at 10 minutes, but it's pretty quick. It's a personal story. So when I met Bobby, my significant other, I had broken up with my boyfriend the day before, and I really didn't have that much of a reason to break up with him because he was pretty fabulous. And, we got fights here and there, but nothing crazy. But I just knew inside my heart that I had to break up with him, and I couldn't justify it. I just knew it. And so anyways, long story short, I broke up with him, and I wrote this nice letter, journaled it, and I said, all right, well, I'm going to break up with this guy, but I really want to meet somebody else then. I don't know, long story. But the next day after I broke up with that boyfriend, I actually met Bobby, and I met him randomly. I went out with a friend, and there he was. Now, that was a sacred contract. And I know that now because we have 2 beautiful kids and an awesome life. And I ask myself all the time, I'm like, I was so lucky that I had the perception to, and the gut to follow my intuition that day, because it was very comfortable being with my ex. He was very, very awesome. I mean, he was a cool dude. So I could have just said, oh, I'll just leave it for tomorrow because it's too hard. I don't want to break his heart, whatever it is. I could have done that. But instead I chose to follow my intuition. And the next day I met the guy I'm still with today. So that was a long time ago. But that's an example to you of what it is like to understand yourself and to hear yourself out. Had I not been able to do that, I would have missed that sacred contract. Well, the universe would have probably brought me somebody else, but I wouldn't have Nikki or Bobby right now. So anyways, I hope that made sense right there. So I made a couple of notes, and I'm going to give you a couple of hints here. So how do you know if something is in a sacred contract? Okay, so you know it's a sacred contract because, like I said, there's a lot of animation. You should definitely check out this book by Carolyn Myss. And she's awesome. She talks about this a lot. Some people don't know it as a sacred contract. Some people know it as just destiny. What is destiny? She calls it sacred contracts. So definitely check out her book if you want to learn more about that. And she talks about it as, it's a sacred contract because there's a lot of animation in whatever it is that's happening. So if you just met someone, that person can be a sacred contract regardless of whether you met them right now or whatever, way more than somebody you've known for years, because maybe this person just gives you butterflies, or there's something about this person that that you just feel a ton of animation towards. Okay, so it doesn't just know. Also, this sacred contracts don't make sense. Don't try to make sense out of everything. Our mind is always scrambling to make sense of things in general. But sacred contracts, they don't just involve you. They involve you and tons of other people and situations. It's like a big movie scene, okay, that is waiting to come together. So they don't make sense sometimes. So you have to be willing to let go of the outcome and just follow your gut, okay? So I know that's a tall order. That really is a tall order, but I truly stand behind the fact that if you can get to know yourself better and get to trust yourself better, you are going to make those marks that are already in your divine plan, okay? And yeah, if you keep having those gut feelings come back over and over, it's probably part of your sacred contract. Understand this in business, and not just in business, actually. With every sacred contract, there's 2 things I believe. One, it's here to help you get in touch with yourself on a deeper level. And 2, it's here because especially your big sacred contract, it's here to serve the world. So those 2 things. So who are you serving? Who are you serving? Are you going after a target market just because it's a lucrative market? I mean, listen, if you're working with me, I'm always coaching you to go after a target market, to niche down in a very lucrative way, but it has to be aligned with who you are. Otherwise, you're just going to have to start over eventually. Okay. What else? Yeah. So how does your sacred contract actually launch you into a deeper aspect of yourself? That's a big question. And like I said, it's bigger than a job. You're not here to be the CEO of a company. That's not a sacred contract. You're here to lead and organize things. So it's so much bigger than a job. I want to make sure that you understand that. Okay. And yeah, and like I said, knowing your archetypes, what is an archetype? An archetype is a pattern of energy. There's archetypes everywhere. You already speak archetypal language. Every time you say, part of me wants to go do this, or every time you say, think about the word bully. Okay. When you think of the word bully, you already have an idea of what that energy pattern looks like. If you think about the word the mother, you already know what the energy behind the mother is. So we all have all these different energies within us, right? Because the world, everything in the universe already lives inside of us in different degrees. So know yourself. That's why you're in the Selfish Society. That's what that means. So if you want me to send you some of these archetypal tests that I have, you can go ahead and comment below here in the Selfish Society in our free Facebook group, or you can go to mariellealvarado.com/archetypes, and I will upload them there so you can go ahead and partake in that. Okay. So that's all I have for you today. I almost kept it at 15 minutes, but I'm almost at 17 minutes. So I'm super excited that I was able to talk to you guys about this. It's something I'm super passionate about. And remember, every Wednesday I do my Wisdom Wednesdays in here, and I like to talk about cool taboo stuff that us transformational leaders need to know about to get our business to the next level and to also have a deeper impact with our own clients, okay? And I love, love, love working with transformational leaders because I know that you have the biggest ripples. You make the biggest ripples in the world, and that's why I'm here. That's my sacred contract. All right. So that's all I have for you today.